Alright, welcome back everybody to our Pokemon Fire Red playthrough that is very varying in uploads. I started it when I was in high school, and you know, it was just a dream of being a YouTuber, I guess. And then there was a 4-year hiatus because I couldn't figure out how to do it anymore, and then last year I decided that I wanted to try to make a video for like spring break, and you know, obviously that was limited time, so I you know, I gave myself a very short window, and I was able to make like 2 videos in that time before I had to go back to school. And obviously everybody kind of knows why I might have time currently for making videos. And you've probably already seen that I was doing a Soul Link with Chuck Finley. That's the guy that I actually met on Twitch because I got my sleep schedule kind of out of order, and so I was just browsing Twitch, which I normally don't do, and I was looking in the Fire Red section to see if anybody was doing any like speedruns or anything, and he had like 1 viewer, so I just decided to go ahead and hop into stream, and I wondered if he wanted to do a Soul Link since he was also uploading on his YouTube channel, which I've already linked over in our Soul Link videos and everything, and we have some of those coming up too. But I decided since I had all the time, and you know, we're recording off and on, that I could fill the time with recording some more Pokemon Fire Red for you. And the team is pretty much the same, except this time around, whenever I restarted, because I lost the game file that I was using, I went ahead and caught a Nidoran male, named it Chuck, and I still have Clefairy, but I'm not sure if that will be in the layout or not, because I kind of just caught it because I did last time, but I wasn't even too sure if I was using it in the last run through either. I actually have a timer now, so hopefully I'll be able to keep myself within the half an hour to like 40-minute mark, which is what I like to keep it at, mainly just because you still need to get something done in the video, but I mean, you also don't want to get all the way into an hour just for like the little extra bit that you could do. And I know our levels aren't exactly on par for what they were in the last video, but I mean, they're well enough. And you know, I was actually heavily contemplating like deleting my current series and just like restarting with like this file. But you know, I figured since it was like my first series I made, and like I know it was a long time ago, that I should you know, keep that up, just so that way, I don't know, you can see like a history on the channel per se. And that's actually quite interesting. I've never seen Gary switch out like that before, on the first Mon especially. So that's quite an interesting move. So yeah, and I have to say, probably one of the main reasons that I always drop this playthrough off is because I'm waiting on. I always try and wait on audience interaction, and I'm not sure why I do that, because I know I'm not a big channel, so I'm not gonna get, like, I do get some comments, but I don't often get comments, and if I do, they're kind of just like a good job, which I mean I appreciate, but generally not like suggestions like I asked for. So this time around, I'm actually just going to be, you know, pushing through the game, and if somebody does want to suggest something, then I might use it. Otherwise, I'm just gonna keep chugging along and trying to beat this game whilst we're also going through on the Soul Link, since I have a lot of extra time. And I actually found out from watching some other YouTubers that apparently you're not really supposed to talk about what's happening right now. And I mean, for me it doesn't really matter because it only affects your monetization, but I guess for the sake of trying to stay out of trouble or whatever, I will refrain of actually referring to it by name, so to speak. I'll go ahead and send out Clefairy here. But yeah, that's basically the rundown. Definitely not the like 20-minute rundown that I gave on my episode 5. So yeah, just been recording and watching streams, editing. I've been trying to get into some video editing, which is why I kind of offered to do the Soul Link, because it is sort of related to what I'm going to school for with the graphic design. So I'm making like these overlays, which I know aren't that hard to make. So I mean, nothing too impressive, but it's still practice nonetheless, especially since most schools and everything are out of session currently, so I need to keep myself kind of occupied with material related to what I should be doing. And of course I still have like online classes, but it's still not as I don't think it's as good as actually going into the classroom. But yeah, so for this episode, which I think is episode 7, I'm gonna shoot for at least getting the Nugget Bridge done, which, looking at the time, should definitely be within grasp. I might even be able to take Misty on. And I actually have the badge layout down there now, because I went ahead and, after doing the Soul Link, I decided to update on this, which might be sort of confusing if you go back and watch from the beginning, going from just a kid that didn't really know what he was doing recording, and then 4 years later you come to a guy that still doesn't really know what he's doing, but he is a little bit better because I got like a thumbnail and everything, and then now I actually have like an overlay and a layout, and I'll probably have like a thumbnail for the playlist updated, and thumbnails for the video that are updated. And then of course you can still expect to have the Soul Link whenever we get around to recording that together. I'm pretty sure, I don't think the second episode will be up by the time that this airs, or at least by the time I'm recording this. It might be up before this actually airs. But yeah, that's so just a little bit of Fire Red, and then our Ruby and Sapphire randomizer Soul Link is what's going up right now. I'm thinking about maybe, I don't know, I'm still kind of talking with Chuck Finley, seeing if maybe we could do like other collaborations, which I think he would be down to do that. But I mean, if he gets busy doing his own thing, I also can do like Gen 4, I can even go back in the generations, play some of the older ones. I might see about the newer ones. I'm not 100% sure how well they do on this sort of running. Like I have like Sword and Shield and everything, but I don't have like all the hardware to like capture, so I couldn't really do a run through of that or anything. But I know people are doing like randomizers of like X and Alpha Sapphire, stuff like that now, so I figure you can probably play that on the computer now, but they might also just be having like modded devices as well, so I'm not sure. I might have to look into it, but definitely like Gen 4, Diamond, Pearl, Platinum, Heart Gold, Soul Silver, all those games. I can do like a solo Ruby Sapphire thing, things like that. Just throwing it out there. And if I don't get any feedback, I'll probably just pick a game, probably in the Gen 4, just because it's it will give me a little bit of padding because it's a longer game. and it's actually quite enjoyable. It's one of my first few Pokemon games. Fire Red was my first one, and then I believe I jumped straight to Diamond, and then I was given Pearl as well, like at a later date for like a present, because I don't think they realized like there were so many like so similar of games. And then after that, I got Heart Gold, which is probably up there with my favorites, and then just so on and so forth. I started getting all the games in order. Ekans, will do that. Yeah, but this is you know, quite nice. Gives me something to do, and like I said, gives me a little bit of experience on, you know, recording, editing, things like that. Just keeps me occupied, and hopefully somebody will get some enjoyment out of it. And maybe with the collaboration, it might actually get a few more views than what it was. Because like I said before, that's honestly one of the bigger reasons why I usually didn't follow through with, you know, everything that I was saying at the time. You know, wanted to do it because I was like, yeah, well, I did want to do it, but then it got like 2 views and, you know, no comments, so obviously nobody's really interested in this. But now it's kind of at the point where it's like, well, even if it doesn't get the views, it's still something to do at this point, and in between. And but hopefully somebody can get some usefulness out of it. I'm hoping to just kind of plow through this game. I'll probably do, like, anytime I have downtime, I'll probably do some, like, backup recordings just to plow through it. Okay, that's not as much damage as I thought. Does poison? I guess poison resists fighting, which is a weird thing to happen, but yeah. Yeah, but on this actually, I decided to pick up Chuck, just because, like, I'm not sure why either, because it's a really good mon. I never really used Nidoking in a playthrough. I did on like the Let's Go games, but obviously I'm one of those people that's not the big, like, they weren't, I won't say they're bad, but in terms of, like, I didn't like the fact that there was no abilities in the game. I didn't, like, it was a cool concept of, like, the Let's Go catching stuff, but also at the same time I still wanted some, like, resonance of wild encounter type battles and such, not just like trainers. I think it would have been cool actually if they would have added more actual trainers into the game, that you just meet along the way, to kind of make up for the fact that there wasn't too many, like, you didn't get any wild battles, which I know they added all like the master trainers and whatnot, but that wasn't exactly enticing to me, because it was just like you fight it with the same one. But yeah, that's just my take on the game. Obviously, I know there are some people that are very big fans of it and everything, and I don't mean to like bash on it or anything. Like, everybody's entitled to their own opinion of things. So it looks like we'll definitely be able to get this out of the way. So yeah, I'll probably be able to easily make it to Misty, and I should probably come up with some like concepts to talk about while it's playing, because I mean, I could just talk about it exclusively what's like going on in the game and commentate commentate over it, but there's like a certain extent to where you're kind of just like, well, yeah, I am watching the video, so you don't need to tell me what's happening, but so yeah, I should probably look up some things that can be said in the in-betweens. I know in like earlier episodes of this, like I would give like tips and stuff like that of like certain things that may have taken me a while to like figure out whenever I was like playing through originally, but I don't know if that's really even that useful now at this point. You're mainly just watching for the content. So I'll just have to try and get myself some things to talk about, because I'm not really, and as you can probably tell by like tone of voice and everything, which I try to pick up a little bit for recording, even though it still doesn't come out that well through a microphone. But I'm not really one of those people that likes to do like overreaction type things on the Pokemon games, which, I mean, I do to an extent, like on a randomizer, just because it's actually more surprising, obviously. But on these kind of games, there's not really anything too surprising coming at you, especially after you've played it through like, you know, 10-15 times like I have on either Fire Red or Leaf Green version. But we'll surely get through the game, just like a chill little playthrough of it. Obviously, you know, answer any questions that might come along, but like I said, not heavily interacted in the comments right now. But I'm hoping to get better on that. And I was honestly thinking about streaming this slightly, but I just don't have good enough internet to run everything for a stream. There's times I can barely even watch streams on Twitch, so I highly doubt I could actually get through a full stream of this without people not really being able to watch. I should really just drop off Clefairy. I don't think I'm gonna use it. I should pick up like an Oddish or something here. Well, I should probably start thinking about like Elite Four, right? So I have like a ground poison. So ground's actually good for a decent amount. Especially if I can teach Nidoking like a rock move. Because then it would be good for like all the dragons, like the Dragonites. It's good for, let's see, Arcanine if he gets Earthquake in the ending. So then I got Squirtle, which Squirtle's kind of good for Bruno, like for the Onyxes, and then I have Pidgeotto for the fighting types of Brunos. And then I'll probably keep a Dark move on Blastoise whenever it evolves, just for the Ghost Gym if I don't have a place to fill that. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be getting a Jolteon later in the playthrough to get the coverage for Lorelei. And then also the dragons, because most of his dragons are flying type, and then also Gary's Pidgeotto. Probably, let's see. I have a Pidgeotto, but I probably want a Arcanine, just for Executor. Like, I know I'll have a Dark type move and also a Pidgeotto for it. But that would just kind of help there, and then also somewhat help in Lorelei for like Jinx. And let's see, what's my next... I already have water for like Rhydon. So I don't know, maybe the other one's just kind of like up to whatever I kind of want, I guess. Yeah, because Jolteon, and then the next one down would be Arcanine, so the other one would kind of just be a filler for... Maybe I'm not thinking about something. Maybe if I did get an actual dark type or something. Let's see, let's go into Pidgeotto here. Unless he just sent out I forgot what he sent out, but... Ah, Spearow, okay. Yeah, so... That's probably the rundown of the team, essentially. I don't know who the other guy is going to be, but right now I'm planning on picking up Jolteon and Arcanine currently as the 4th and 5th members. And that should have us pretty well set for a somewhat easy time against against the Elite Four and the Champion. And then I'll kind of just think over the last one, or if somebody suggests it, I'll throw it in probably. And at some point in this run through, I'll also need to do a big grinding montage. I'll need to pick a spot to do it, because I know if you kind of just run through the game as is, you're usually quite under-leveled by the time you get to the Elite Four. So I'll probably pick a spot in the middle to like grind up to get there, and then if we're still not there, I'll do a grinding montage right before. But yeah, quite fond memories playing through this game. I think I'll always have those for coming back to it. And I think I'll always remember the first time trying to beat the game, because like I guess I had a base understanding of like how to play the game, but like I could not beat the Elite Four, like, because I don't know, I just couldn't. I didn't grasp the game well enough to go that far, and like all the rest of the game is like, as long as your levels are up there, you can kind of fake your way through it, I guess. And I just remember like day after day on my Game Boy Advance, playing through and just like going up against the Elite Four over and over again, until like one day I think I was at a store like in the car and I finally beat it. And like I think I ventured my way down to where like I was in the after story, like the after story bit, and I'm pretty sure like I couldn't figure it out, so I just like reset the game because I thought that would fix it. Oh, it was bad times. But I mean, at the same time, those are also back in the days where basically my starter Pokemon was the only viable Pokemon I had, because I just relied on him for everything instead of actually leveling up other Pokemon because they're actually useful. And I also did, like, I'm pretty sure I just kept the same team I caught in the very beginning as well. So like, my ending team was Charizard, Raticate, Pidgeot, I think I had a Kadabra in there, because I have really fond memories of Abra. If not, it was definitely in the second playthrough I got Abra, and used Kadabra. And what was my last Pokemon? I think it was actually Rhydon. I know at least at some point I had a Rhydon playing through this game. Yeah, but quite fond memories, especially whenever I was playing this on the Game Boy Advance and actually got to go around trading with the you know, like the little clip-on like wireless adapters that you could get, because I didn't have like a link cable, like one of the original link cables. And like I had a friend, and we would go on like family trips, and I'm pretty sure he had like the opposite version, and he had one that had like a shiny front, and we would trade some Pokemon. Sadly though, I was not wise enough to know about like trade Pokemon, so we kind of just traded random Pokemon and never took advantage of like getting an Alakazam or a Gengar. I distinctly remember trading him like a Fearow because like I thought it was like a version exclusive for some reason, because I just never found it, because I never like went over to the area that you found it. Yeah, those are back in the days whenever you don't know much about Pokemons. And now I'm to the point where basically if you like show me a picture of a Pokemon, I can like tell you what it is, or like what it evolves into, stuff like, you know, basic, not anything too impressive, obviously. Like that's basically your basic Pokemon fan, but compared to the old childhood me, it's quite adept, I guess you'd say. Yeah, but I think we can make it to Bill real quick, and then end this episode here, and then the next episode should be us taking on Misty. And then probably we'll have enough time to get through the was it the SS Anne in this? Yeah, I think so. No, I don't want Whirlwind. Our team is finally getting up there. This is one thing, obviously it's not too complicated, and you can come back and get it whenever you have cut, but this is another thing that took me a while whenever I was doing my original playthrough. If you go all the way out from him, he'll be forced to like take 2 steps forward, and then you can go back there and get secret power and teach it to an Abra, which is pretty useful because then you don't have to necessarily switch train him anymore, which can be very helpful leveling him up, so that way you're not having to split the XP. And I don't know, personal opinion, I think Kadabras are still viable in this game, just because like as long as you level them up, their special stat is like and like their speed if you get them up high enough. Like I think you have to out-level the Elite Four before like you can just sweep Agatha. Like you have to out-level by like 1 or 2 levels, but still, I mean, just getting over a couple levels and then fighting her, and you can like sweep the entire team essentially, especially if there's some backup mons. Oh, maybe I should put on Snorlax as my like 6th mon, just for the tankiness. The tankiness alone. And but yeah, as the video is about to kind of wrap up here, just if you happen to like this sort of content where it's just playing through the game, me kind of chatting, sort of talking about the game, sort of talking about you know, lineup stuff like that, just let me know. Maybe suggest some like other run-throughs, like we could do Nuzlocke of like certain games. Like I said earlier, we could do just like regular run-throughs of like Gen 4, stuff like that. But yeah, and I guess if you like, you can like it. I don't know how much. I don't think that helps me too much, unless like the liked videos get seen more. But I mean, I guess it does let me know that you actually liked it, other than if you commented. So yeah, if you just wanted to drop a quick like, that'd be cool. but I know I'm definitely not, you know, big enough to really sit out here and be like, oh, smash the like button, you know, stuff like that. But yeah, I think we'll just do this real quick, and that'll be it. Oh, one last thing though. I have been making like a couple things in Illustrator, like whilst this is all going on, and I can add that in on the end card. I know on the Soul Link I added one, but I made it a while ago, but I could add in like some other ones that I made if you guys are interested, and just kind of show off a little bit of my work, but I'm not gonna just like throw it in there just to show off if nobody's really that interested. Because I post all that on like Twitter and stuff, which I probably won't link or anything. If you're interested at all, it's still Butter Gamer on like Twitter and Instagram. So if you want to go look at it, you can. But it's just a bunch of like random art that I post. So I know it's definitely not that similar of content or anything. But yeah, I think that will pretty much do it for this episode. We actually accomplished what I wanted to accomplish in this episode in a reasonable time. So next episode we'll be taking on Misty and probably SSAN, and we'll see what else we can do from there. Team's looking pretty good, and somewhat soon we'll be getting Jolteon, and so yeah. I will see you guys next time, because I don't really have a regular outro. See ya.